The Prospecting Bear is an MGM Barney Bear cartoon from 1941. This is directed by Rudolf Ising and written by Jack Cosgriff, with voice cast including Rudolf Ising. And I really enjoyed this one for a couple of reasons. The narrative itself is pretty straightforward. Barney Bear is prospecting, and I'd never heard that term before, and it just means looking for gold or oil or something like that. And he is on the mountainside digging for gold, and he finds a cave, or I guess a hole in the mountain, where it looks like there's a lot of gold inside, so he proceeds to try and dig there, but obviously not without problems. He's also with his little burrow, and the burrow is the cutest thing that I have ever seen. The character is gorgeous, and unfortunately Barney Bear doesn't really treat the burrow very nicely, and that's not very nice to see. And I don't normally dislike Barney Bear. Barney Bear is usually a likeable protagonist, but with this one, that's not so much the case. But the burrow was absolutely adorable. The narrative is interesting enough. It's very straightforward. But the reasons I really liked this are partly because of the animation. The animation of the burrow is very cute. The animation of the gold is stunning. We don't get to see much of it, but what we do see is so spectacular. It is so beautiful. And I also loved the sound effects. The soundtrack itself is good. We have some decent music. We have Oh Susanna at one point, which I love. But the sound effects are fabulous. Particular standouts include the sound effects the burrow makes, and also the sound effect of Barney's pickaxe. Is it a pickaxe? I'm not 100% sure. It's not my area of expertise, but it gets stuck in the mountainside and it makes a kind of badoing noise, and I just absolutely loved it. So the sound effects in this are fabulous. The animation is really pleasing, and in particular the animation of the burrow is very cute. I really liked the character of the burrow a lot. It may not be the most unique narrative concept. There are plenty of cartoons of a similar nature, but that being said, I still thoroughly enjoyed it. As a Barney Bear cartoon, it's not one of my favourites. Because as I said, Barney Bear just, for me, doesn't come across as a very likeable protagonist in this particular cartoon. But as a cartoon in general, I rather enjoyed it. I'd say if you're new to Barney Bear, it might be a good place to start, but my advice would be don't make this your introduction to the character. But nevertheless, if it sounds like it appeals to you, then absolutely it's a decent enough one to start with. I just think it's maybe a little atypical of the character. But that aside, I thought that The Prospecting Bear was a decent animation and one that I'm happy to recommend.